Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me now? Good evening, everyone. Confirm you can hear me. Okay, good. All right. Thank God it's Friday. Who is happy that today is Friday? Like, how you guys feeling? Today is Friday. Any plan for Friday? Any activities today, tomorrow? And any party, any tech events, any Owambe, Ashwebi girls. Now there's even Ashwebi guys now. Guys are doing Ashwebi now. So any activities, how you feeling? Like, what's your plan for weekend? Yeah, just drop your comments. You can tell me your plan for the weekend. So, do you have any events or you have the tech events to attend? I would recommend you just go for the tech events because there you get a lot of value and but depends. So I'm expecting everybody's response. No plan, Deborah. You need to find a plan. There should be one. You can't be home alone. And I said alone. I mean, you can't just be home without doing anything, right? So just go out, have some fun. And if it is money, yeah, because most time we like, I'm trying to cut costs to, you can just buy one table water. Just take yourself out, smell nice, wear something nice, and when you get the order for water, at least you bought something and they can't chase you. Bought water. So is that water, you just take it slowly, slowly, slowly. Until you can even spend 2 hours taking that water. I mean, at least yeah, it's different when you're at home. So go out. It's important that when you go out because Monday is very close. You'll be running, going to work and all. So yeah, to encourage everybody. I just want to be at home with my beautiful wife. It's been a while I had a whole weekend with her. That one is quite understandable. At least, yeah, it's not just you. All right, so that's cool. Okay, so let's get started. So, before we start tonight's class, I want to have like a summary of everything about what we've done so far and your understanding about products management. Let's assume that someone reached out to you and like I need a PM, I'm working on a product. Like what's the first thing that you would do? I want to know if you have actually learned for this past I mean it's over a month already, so I want to hear from everybody, if not all, but at least maybe some a few set of people can just say something on the chat box. Like someone approached them working on a product and I need a PM. What is your understanding? Like, what approach, what strategy are you going to adopt? I want to just see how far you've gone on your journey as a product manager, so I'll know if we are actually learning. What's the first thing you will do? Like? Just take me through the process. So if I can get response from like 5 to 6, 7 person, I think I'm good with that. So who's going first? Mr. Slim. There's somebody that his name is Slim Man. I think I will. You should go first. You should go first. Mr. Slimmer, go first. The only thing I'm saying is good evening, everyone. So nobody's going first. Oh, Mr. Slimmer, you're not on this call. You are here now. The Mr. Slim, you're here. So I'm expecting your comment. Someone else also can also drop. Someone approached you that I'm working on a product. What's the first thing you'd like? Just tell me what's the process? What's the first thing? Like just take me through the process. As a PM, after listening to the product idea, I'd create a roadmap. I'd create a roadmap. Oh, Deborah. Okay. I'll create a roadmap. Okay. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I need an answer before I don't want to say the answer. Once I should just tell you what the answer. Someone else would definitely want to like buttress on that point. You start with market research. Market research. That's the first thing. Market research. Okay, all right. Oh, a PRD. That you said it's going to start with a PRD. I'm sure I explained product development life cycle and I also explained product life cycle. I think I explained all of those things. Once I listen to the market, I will ask the person, what problem are they trying to solve? And, right, okay, I'm not going to say anything now. Let me just read the comments. Evaluating if it's a viable idea. Lower job bar. Okay. And Mr. Slim said product idea, roadmap, market research, PRD. Okay, right. Any other person? Chinasa, good evening. Clarify and validate the core problem or opportunities. Okay, and what are we venturing into? Okay, honestly, every responses on the chat box is correct, but then, and I think the first thing is you need to validate the idea. You need there's not even validation first. The first thing is idea generation. You need to brainstorm. What exactly are we trying to work on? What problem are we trying to solve? Is the idea viable? Is it usable? Is it something that is viable, right? So the first thing is you need to first of all brainstorm the idea to confirm if it's viable enough to chase, to work on. And once you've done that, right, you validate it. There's idea generation, there's also what? Um validation of the idea. So even before you start thinking of the PRD and all of those things, fine, sure. It is after you've had your meeting with your team members, everybody exactly if it is viable, usable by brainstorming. Yeah, Teresa. So the first is not just by market research. You first of all need to brainstorm. You need to verify. You need to confirm if the idea is sellable enough, right? If it's something that you can venture into, then other things now follow. That's when you can now say, okay, then you can now say, okay, let's do our research about the whole thing and all of those things, and the rest can continue. Then you do your research about it, your competitive analysis, your market research, your user research, your user persona, then your user journey, then you prioritize your features, and then what else? What else? What else? What else? Then your functional requirements, all of those things. You know, you make inquiry about all of those. You make your research. Your technical requirements. You have to consider that your acceptance criteria, user story, all of those things will be on your PRD, obviously, before you now start thinking of, okay, then let's start with probably like your low file fidelity wireframe before you now okay, think about the prototyping and all. It is when you have your prototyping, you test it before your dev team will now begin. Yeah, so that's just like a quick summary of the whole thing. So I mean, everybody, I'm really proud that at least you have an idea and you're not nobody's going to talk to you about product management and you don't have something to say. It's not possible. You have at least everything you mentioned on this chat box is correct, right? It's fantastic, right? So I'm really, really proud of everyone. Just let's keep up the energy and I'm rooting for you. So in today's class, and okay, yeah, you're welcome, Teresa. So in today's class, and I'll be talking about validation of, I think, evaluating product launching performance. Yeah, evaluating product performance. So these are my slides. So once they share the slide with you, you have access to everything that we've done so far. So for those of us that were not around, I'm sure the slide and it's even live, so you can always go back and but my slide is detailed enough for all the um, topics that I've explained to everyone, and you can also make your own personal research. So in today's class, I'm talking about evaluating and refining post-launch performance. Like I said on Tuesday, that after your launching, right, Don't think that you're done as a product management or as a product manager. And that's one of the difference between products and projects manager. Projects, once they are done, their time frame, they are done. Like there's none of their business. Maybe they want to like get feedback and all. Projects, time based, I'm done. But you products management, even after you've launched your products, your work still continues. In fact, that is even when you work even because you cannot launch a product that you cannot launch a product that you're not even sure what's the market saying about the product to launch. You were the one who channeled the whole thing, isn't it? You were the one who you had to collaborate with your team members, and you are the one who was working with all your team members regarding the whole idea. You provided the document. You basically did I'm not going to say you did everything, but you're actually the one who was in charge of the project. You are the product manager. So if it goes well, kudos to you. And if it goes bad, you know what that means. So you need to get the feedback. What's the performance of these products in the market? So today in tonight's class, we'll be talking about the metrics that helps you to determine whether you are really successful in the market or if the product is accepted. So I'm just going to basically talk about the whole thing, how you can get feedback and how you can identify if your product is what your users need. So I'm not going to ask you what is the definition of post launch. We all understand what post launching is. It's what happened after your product has been launched. So moving on, in today's class, I'm talking about introduction to post launch evaluation and defining success criteria and quantitative data collection, qualitative data collection as well, analyzing performance data, and the common post-launch pitfalls, tools, and resources. Then after that, conclusion and key takeaways. That's what we're talking about tonight. So I want tonight's class to be very interactive because today is Friday. Nobody's rushing to work tomorrow morning. So relax and look for popcorn or something very chill beside you, and as you're taking notes of everything, you're also you're engaging the channel. Every minute of your life that is spent in a particular day or in a particular place, you need to get value, yes or no. So if you're on this call, then you're not on Facebook, you're not on Instagram, but you're here learning. So make it try as much as possible to make use of that opportunity. If you're not getting value, then you're not in the right place. Time is precious. So, introduction to post-launch evaluation. What is post-launch evaluation? I'm not going to go into details that much. Like I said, it is the process of assessing how well the product performs in the real world, how users interact with it, and what improvements are needed. That's what's post-launch. Even from the word evaluation, I mean, we don't understand what that is saying. Evaluating what has been launched. What is it say? What is the performance? What are users saying about the product you've launched? So in this phase, it is very important that PM tries to meet up with user needs and business objective by doing what? By making a research about the product that has been worked on, getting feedback about it. So when we talk about the post-launch activities, it involves you monitoring usage metrics, collecting customer feedback, fixing bugs, releasing updates, and refining features. And why does this matter? In order for you to be able to identify if the products meet your initial goals and also to guide data-driven decisions. And by also preventing your early user churn and to build a roadmap for your future iteration. I think somebody said the first thing she's going to do is to build a roadmap. You can't build a roadmap first now. Before you even think of roadmap, some certain things, I listed all of those things. So roadmap is part of the things that will be on your PRD. Your roadmap will be there. You get your prioritization framework, everything with this. It's a lot of a lot of things that has to be on your PRD. So you can see why I mentioned to us on Tuesday that product managers you will write, you will document. Do you understand? Even documentation of the process. So there's documentation of your projects. That even if any product manager, maybe you decide to maybe probably leave your organization, you want to move to somewhere else, that if another PM is coming in, they should be able to, you know, Make use of the documents that you've used before you left for the person to have an understanding about your products. Sure, you understand. So being a product manager is actually is no joke at all. But I believe in everybody on this call because we've got all it takes. Yeah, to try. So moving on, I said in today's topic that we're talking about evaluating post-launch performance. For you to be able to evaluate that, you need to define your success criteria before. So for you to be able to define your success criteria, you also know that on your PRD, you're going to have your metrics, how you want to, to get feedback, whether you are really maybe able to meet up with your KPIs. So all these things like this, you have to, everything will be on your PRD. It's not, all these things not after, it's going to be there. So before you dive into the analytics and your feedback, it is essential for you to be able to define that what does success looks like on your product. I know we mentioned this in one of our classes, but we didn't really go into details like that. But we were just like, I think it's part of the things I mentioned, but yeah. So I'm sure that you all have like an understanding of what this whole thing is. So success criteria are measurable indicators that shows whether the product is achieving its intended purpose. They are often defined in the form of your key performance indicators. That's your KPIs, and some common post launch KPIs is number one. We have your activation rate. It is possible that I sign up on your platform, right? And I will not use it. It's possible. I think I've done so many. There are some applications that maybe the UX experience is really really tiring for me. I'm not patient enough because maybe it might be bug whatever, but then I will not complete it. So all of these things are ways for you to be able to know that if your customers are really making use of your applications to the point of them completing their transactions. So you activation rate is the percentage of your users who complete a key action after sign up. You can sign up. Maybe you want to buy a product online. You sign up on the channel. You place your order, add to cart. You add your account details, blah blah blah. Then you submit it, right? So the activation rate, it's so all of those things. There are things that they track to know that you've you have actually what purchased your item as well. So they will know the percentage of the users that complete their key actions and also the retention rates too. What is the percentage of users that return after a set of time? Some people will just sign up on your page. After that, they may not meet again. That's their mindset. That in fact, some people just uninstall it. Maybe when they don't have space on their phone and they just look at the application, just like I beg, they just delete it. So all of these things they are tracking everything. So retention rate is the percentage of your users who return after a set of time. That is people that logged in, they signed up and they still came back. So those set of users. We also have we also have our net promoter score. I'm sure that in one of our meetings then I mentioned it that I mentioned NPS to us that it's a metric that is actually used, right, for us to be able to measure our customers' loyalty and the satisfaction by asking one key questions. And that's why most times when you use some applications, there is always a prompt on it that is always asking you that how likely are you to recommend our product or services to your friend or colleague? And me, I used to respond, but when I say no, they want to ask me why. Me, I will draw. I don't have time to be typing stories. You already asked me if I will recommend yes or no. Yes, it's but why? They want to they want to have they want to know the reason if it is no. Because if you are saying no, they need to know why it is no. Sure, you understand? They need to know why it is no. When you say yes to them, they are good. But when you say no, but we individuals, some of us are very impatient. We don't have time to be writing stories, right? So I think I mentioned this in one of our meetings that when you have such messages that you're only helping your PM or you're helping that product to grow by stating the reasons why your product is not pleasant or it is not user friendly or it is not seamless for you, So for Net Promoter Score, for example, it is divided into three, right? We have the promoter score, we have the passive score, and we also have the detractors. So when you rate a product from 9 to 10, it means that you're a loyal enthusiast who will always keep buying and refer others to buy the products. If you rate it from 9 to 10, so these are guys that, oh yeah, they are very loyal to that product. But the passive ones, they are people that rate 7 to 8. So you should just check yourself out that if you are the type of person that used to rate the product 7 and 10, you just know that you're a passive customer. Because these customers, they are satisfied about the products, but they are not being enthusiastic about these are customers that they are vulnerable to competitors. They are they are satisfied with the passive that rates a product from 7 to 10. They are satisfied about the products, but they are vulnerable. That maybe if a competitor, somebody else's comes with that kind of products, there's probability that they will leave and it's very, very easy for them to, to jump from their own product to another product. So those are the guys that they rate your product from 7 to 10. But we have the detractors. So the detractors are 0 to 6. So I mentioned that we have three categories of persons, right? We have the promoters, we have the passive, we have the detractors, right? So the detractors are from 0 to 6. These customers, they are unhappy. And unhappy customers who can damage your brand through negative word of mouth. So I'm just saying, whenever you rate a product from 0 to 6, just when you're an unhappy customer, that's what NPS score is telling us about. So how do we calculate it, right? So it's going to be percentage of your promoters minus percentage of your detractors. So that is how it's being calculated. So anything above 50 is excellent from the results when you calculate your NPS score. Do you understand? So it's considered good. And do you understand? So I think that's it about NPS. So the next one is our churn rates. So the churn rate is talking about the percentage of users who stop using your products for some reasons. I have some applications on my phone so that if at some points I deleted them because I'm not using them, they don't serve me, right? So if you don't serve me, what's the point of having you on my phone? So by the time all these guys that are in this category, they do the analysis, they make a decision. So the next one, we have the revenue metrics. So for revenue metrics, right? Revenue metrics are indicators that are used to measure the financial performance and the growth of a business. Because to be honest, everybody, you can't tell me that you are working on a product because you want to use it, you are doing maybe charity, maybe, but I believe that what me I'm talking from the angle of a business person, right? That is working on a product for the purpose of what of generating revenue. It's not just for fun, right? So revenue metric is also there. So and like I said, that revenue metrics are key indicators that are actually used for you to measure the financial performance and growth of your business that helps you to understand how much money is being made and where it is coming from and how it changes over time. All right. So one of the importance of revenue metric is that right, is for you to know if you are making profits or not. By the time you're able to identify your total revenue, you're able to identify your monthly recurring revenue. That's the MRR. MRR is your predictable revenue that a company expects to earn every month from your subscriptions or your ongoing services. Do you understand? And we also have ARR, which is your annual recurring revenue. So that is the total value of your recurring revenue that is expected annual. So that is like 12 times your MRR. Your MRR is your monthly. So for you to get your annual, so it's going to be 12 times your MRR. So we also have the average revenue per user. That's the ARP. It's not here. So that one is also talking about your average amount of money that is earned per customer or per user. So for you to get your PU, that is your average revenue. I'm talking about your average revenue per user. So for you to be able to identify that, it's going to be your total revenue all over your numbers of users. Somebody will be saying like, "Ah, are you doing maths again in product manager? I don't understand. I don't understand." But then you should know that even as an individual, say, you should be able to account for every penny that you spend. That is it. For you to be, I said that your MRR is your monthly revenue, like your monthly recurring revenue. That's your MRR. So your monthly recurring revenue is your predictable revenue that a company expects to earn every month from your subscriptions or your ongoing services. Thank you, Mr. Slim. So that's what that is talking about. So for every, I think I was listening to a podcast recently about finance, and one of the things that someone said is that you need to plan your money before your money leaves your pockets. Don't make plan after the money leaves your pocket. And I ask myself, there's some money that leaves your pocket that you didn't even budget for. So what do we do about that? No, this is just on a personal level, not on business level. I know that even for businesses, you have to pay for miscellaneous and the likes. But then, so when I was listening to that podcast, and it was just like, yeah, it's supposed to plan before you spend your money. You have to plan before your money leaves your pocket. But what about situations whereby some things happens and you just have to spend that money? How do we account for that? And I realized, oh, that is why also, even when you are planning, you also need to plan for your miscellaneous things that are unexpected and can happen. So for every money, you account for it. You need to know how much you spend in a month, how much you spend yearly, daily, so that you will not just be working and working at the end of the month and you have nothing to show for it. You're just working nothing. So I think it's then from your salary, you should be able to, I think you should spend maybe 70% or something. I think it's like 70% and 10 for your growth, 10 for investments, 10 for, there's a way the whole thing is just 10 for charity, 10% for your investments, and 10 for miscellaneous, something like that. No, you save 10%. Yeah, you have to save investments and all of that. So, but you can read books on financial, what's it, anything related to finance. So investment and the likes for you to be um financially okay, something like that. So yeah, so that's just it. So even as a company, you need to have your revenue metrics and all. So defining success metrics, we also have CLV. Yeah, that is customer lifetime value. That's the total revenue that is expected from a customer during their relationship with your business. So for every customers you have, there should be like a total financial intelligence. Lillian, you knew I was looking for that English, Abby, and you just helped me. Thank you so much for, yes, for you to be financially intelligent. There's a lot of intelligence. Right? We have artificial intelligence. That's AI. I just say AI, artificial intelligence, financial intelligence, emotional intelligence, intelligence continues like that. Everything is intelligence, and all those things too. You have to read books about them. Yeah, you chop 50%, you invest 30, you save 20. I like that, Kate. So that's just it. So don't you pay your tithes? Ah, yeah, you pay your tithes 10%. Very very important. Very very important. Thank you, Handless, for adding that to it. So don't think that the money you are working for is just for you alone. It's not, you can't spend that money alone. You work alone, but you cannot spend it alone. That's just the logic. So yeah. So for you to calculate your CLV, that's your customer lifetime value is ARPU times average customer's lifespan. So your ARPU is your average revenue per user. I mentioned that. And your average revenue per user is the average amount of money per customer or per user. So for you to now have your customer lifetime value, that is the to calculate it is ARPU times your average customer lifespan. So for you to define your success metrics, so you ensure that the product team has a benchmark against which to measure performance. So even you as an individual that you are saying you're a product manager, how do you measure your growth? You need to know if you are if you are growing or not. It's not just this right, even personally, how do you measure that you're on the right, like you are really growing as a product manager? At least you should have your own personal metrics. It's not me that I'm not going to plan that for you. You really want to do the planning yourself. You should be able to know that if you are growing, if you are getting value, if you are still the same person that joined, if anything has anything changed about you personally, you'll be the one to answer all of those questions. I need to plug my device. Sorry. So all of those questions are things that you need to. There are things that you need to be able to figure out. Yeah. Yes. So next one. So like I said, that once the product has been launched, so you need to collect your even before, when you're in your discovery phase of a product, right? You're expected to also gather data such as your quantitative and qualitative data is expected. Somebody say we're in mathematics class now, please, small now. I was expecting that really. I was expecting that. Somebody say, is it the core responsibility of a PM to be in charge? See what I'm just saying? Just pray that you land a role in to an organization that can afford to hire different employees for different roles. Because if you find yourself in like a startup, for example, it can be the PM that will do everything. No? But what they'll just tell you is that you are gathering knowledge. And to be honest, the best place for you to learn is startup. Yes, that's the best place because you will learn so many things as fast as you can. And it's even at your own is at your own advantage. But the question is now that can they afford to pay for all the services that you're rendering for them? From the word startup, you should understand better. I'll just stop there. So I hope that has answered your question. So when you are trying to confirm the performance of your product, you're expected to what to gather quantitative data. We all know that for quantitative data, it's exactly learning ground. You get it. So quantitative data provide measurable insights into how users interact with your products. So it has to do with your behavioral analytics, your user patterns, your system performance. So for you to be able to gather your quantitative data, and as a product manager too, you should have a little bit understanding about Google Analytics, right? Mixed panel or amplitude, all these analytics platform. You don't have to know everything. But when you go for an interview, there's probability that they ask you that. They might ask you that have you launched a product before? And how were you able to what and like after your product has been launched, right? How were you able to track progress? How were you able to measure your metrics? How were you able to gather your data collections? How were you able to analyze those things? They know that you don't expect you to know everything, but then you should be able to at least, if that's one thing, if as a product manager, for example, maybe we have like 5 tools that we can use, at least be familiar with one or two. It's just that when you get to an organization, they might want to tell you that, oh, we want to use Jira. Some might tell you that we want to use Notion. Another might tell you that I want to use Miro. Another person might say that they want to use Trello. So depending on what the organization wants. But then even if they are saying, I can literally tell them, oh, I'm familiar with these tools, and you can give them some interesting reasons why they should go for that. So you can convince them. But if it is even something that you don't know, just go on YouTube and learn it sharp, sharp. YouTube itself is a university. What I'm just driving out is that at least be familiar with one thing. Out of 10 or out of 5 tools, you'll be able to speak about one. That they won't just be looking at it like you don't know what's up about what they're talking about. That's it. So for you to gather your data collection, so these analytic platforms, I said Google Analytics, Mixpanel, and Aptitude, etc. So depending on whichever one that you want to use. So another thing you also need to consider is what? your product usage. For your product usage too, you know, you need to be able to identify your daily active users. Who are the daily active users? Your daily active users are the numbers of unique customers, right? That are using your products steady, daily. Those are your daily active users, your DAU. I know they can somebody tell me an application that every day, like every go if I when you're waking up on your bed like this, sometimes you manage to pray. The first you just carry your phone. Oh yeah. Somebody should just tell me the application, the next application that you're checking. And I'm expecting like a kind of response that you just be dropping, dropping, drop. Exactly. Like you just wake up like this, straight to WhatsApp. I'm a big it's something I do, so I'm not gonna act like innocent. The way I would just run to I don't even know what's happening on Snapchat. I'm not is it either LinkedIn or WhatsApp? Sometimes Facebook. But you see that Instagram, TikTok, even Twitter, there's always activities on Twitter. I'm just trying to learn on how to. But you see, LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Yeah, I spend time and my email too. I spend time to read my emails as well. Some people said Facebook, so it's obvious that every day, every day, we cannot do without visiting WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, all of those things. So, another way for you to be able to collect data collection on a product is for you to be able to know your daily active users. Somebody said personally, I go straight to WhatsApp or Facebook. Exactly. So everybody has their own what's the where they visit when they wake up. And do you know if care is not taken in, you'll be moving from one tab to another tab. From one if you're for those that are visiting Facebook when they wake up, you can see that from one from one video that you're watching online to another one. Before you know it, you are there till 11 o'clock. That thing can be so. What's the word can I use? There's one English I want to use. Somebody should give me that English. Once you just get addicted to it, you will just be there. So another thing that also needs to happen, you should just discipline yourself that when you wake up in the morning, you should even have a plan before sleeping. These are the first thing I do. When I wake up in the morning, yeah, addictive. Thank you. And I have a friend that if you send message to her by 9 a.m., she won't even open her WhatsApp. She will say that my money is very, very important. Need to have a productive day. That morning is when my brain is. I'm not thinking of anything. Just whatever. I'll do what I have to do ASAP. Then when I'm done for my morning, what I've set for my morning, then I'll now read message. Because once you open one, when you open it, those applications from one message and that message from one, and you start replying. Before you know it, you are there for 2 hours. Yes, so that's just it. I'll just digress. But then, so you need to know your daily active users, number one, because it shows how many people are using your products, and also monthly active users. Who you have to know the numbers of your unique users who interact with your products over the 30-day period. Sure, you understand? You have to know all of those things because for you to know this, it helps you to know the overall reach. It helps you to know your user base. It's very useful for you to be able to track your growth trends as well. Yeah, that's it about that. So we also have our DAU, that's your MAU ratio, and that one also shows how often that your user return to your product. Do you understand? So it's measure the stickiness. That one also has formula. For you to measure that is equals to your daily active users over your monthly active users times 100 is equals to your stickiness percent. So a ratio of 20%, right, is considered good, and 50% plus is considered excellent. So that means it's very sticky product. So that's it about you trying to collect your quantitative data. All of these things too, you have to document it. Do you understand? So by the time you are running your ads, maybe on Facebook and all of those things, when you are running your maybe your Facebook ads, you get all these I just mentioned, you see all the analysis there, like everything be there. So if you have like a digital marketer in your company, right? So it's going to like show you all these I mean the digital marketers, so they just show you all of these things. So you can as well do your personal research about that. So the next one, I mentioned the quantitative, that's the quantity. Then let's talk about the qualitative data collection. Why numbers tell part of the stories. Like I was talking about the NPS score, that when you rate them, when you say no, that you're not going to recommend them, they ask you why. So that why question now is that the qualitative data collection that you have to collect. You need to know why. Why do you say you not refer my products? Hmm? Why? So the why is that is behind your user behavior. So this includes your direct feedback and your observation from your users. So what are the method of you gathering qualitative data from your users? Right? Through user interviews. Your user interview is your one-on-one discussions for an in-depth insight of your products. So another thing is also your survey to determine your NPS score, your CSAT score, right? And also your customer surveys to gather opinion. Do you understand? So all of these things are just basically for you to be able to identify where there is problem. You need to know where there's problem so that you can solve that problem before the problem kills the product. Usability testing. After you've observed how your users are navigating and they interact with the product. So usability testing is for you to be able to observe how your users are navigating and they are interacting with your products. There are some products that you are clicking save, save. You click save, will click save. Save will not be saving. Save will be hanging. Maybe there is bug or something. So all these things are things that one has to be able to identify before your product gets to a decline phase in the market. Do you understand? The life of a product starts once the product is launched, and that's the product life cycle. That's when it's in the introduction phase before it moves to the growth phase, before it moves to the maturity phase. And after maturity, if you don't know what you are doing, maybe you know the next thing now, decline straight out. So all of those things, by the time you combine your qualitative and quantitative data, it's able to have like an holistic view of what your user's experience could be and what your user performance also could be. I hope you are getting value from this class. So analyzing the performance data also. Once your data has been collected, like you've done all this analysis, everything has been collected, you've figured all those things out. The next thing for you to be able to for you to be able to make an informed decisions. So your analysis will review what is working, it's going to review what is not working, and it's also going to reduce what needs an urgent attention. Do you understand? So the next thing is also for you to be able to analyze those results. We have the funny analysis. The funny analysis will be able to visualize where your users are drop off in the process. There's I think there was an application I was trying to use. What even happened, Seth? So I can't even remember what happened. I just left it. I think I wanted to order for something online, something like that. I don't even know what happened. I just left it. I abandoned it and I didn't go back there. So in that kind of situation now, your phone analysis is going to help you to be able to visualize where the users drop off in the process. We have the quotes analysis too. The quote analysis helps you to track your engagement and your retention across your user groups. So we have segmentation as well. Segmentation breaks data into meaningful groups, e.g., who are the new customers, who are the returning users. It's going to help you to be able to differentiate, to segment your users. Because life after your product has been launched, that's when you even need to start the work. You put all the effort for you to build the product and you're able to launch your product. Don't go and sleep when you launch the product. That's even when you have to be alert because it has been introduced, so your competitors are not sleeping. They want to do something, they also want to do their own too because they will realize that you're making money, everybody's talking about your products, blah, 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 and all. So, and that is why you have to be what? You really have to be very active. Don't sleep. Wake up. So that's it about that. So we also have the ITMA, right? The ITMA data visualization. So that one also helps you to measure your user satisfactions and loyalty through feedback. Do you understand? So the heat map is more like a graphical representation, right, of your data, right, that uses a system of color coding to represent your different values, something like that. That's what it is really. So all of this, you don't really need to. I don't expect you to know everything, but then just make sure that when they are talking about it, you have something to say. And if it's something you don't know, right, make your research, watch YouTube, and you're not the only one working. It's something that's gonna be you and everybody, your stakeholders both. But just pray that maybe when you're landing your first role, you're lucky enough to work in kind of organizations that they're able to afford different employees for different roles so that you'll not be choked with too much of responsibility. Yeah, that's it about that. So what are the common post launch pitfalls that we may face? Honestly, there's nothing that has an advantage that doesn't have a disadvantage. Everything in life, everything. There's nothing that doesn't have an disadvantage. There is. So what are the common post launch pitfalls that we have? Even we have ignoring negative feedback because when you fail to address criticism, it can halt retention, right? If a customer is saying something negative about your product, you should be able to like address it. Not that you address it in such a way that it will be very rude, probably, but then saying that you should address that criticism. You don't have to face them, but what they are saying, maybe you correct it and you don't allow that to happen again. Customers are always right, regardless. You can't be facing your customer and be fighting. It's not possible. Some people are very temperamental that when maybe, and even in, sometimes I appreciate when people look into my eyes and they tell me things that I'm doing that is wrong. Because it takes somebody that loves you, somebody that really like you to tell you what is bad about you. And we Nigerians, right? Let me not say we Nigerians, like as we individuals, we don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to be on anybody's bad book of record. Everybody wants to be on a good book. So even when those things are wrong, you say it's right. So when I see people that tell me that BC, what you're doing is wrong, I'm so happy because I want to grow. It might be very painful, but I'll just look at it from a perspective of if you want to grow, you need to embrace criticism. So for your products, you will definitely have an encounter with such people, and when you get that, welcome it and do the needful. Very simple. Some people want to purposely talk you down. That's because you don't have self confidence. Nobody like I understand. It's a whole lot of being having self confidence is a serious deal. Oh. Yeah, there are times that you just have this low self esteem and all. But then people that talk you down, you just have to. You don't need to be affected by external factors. Let everybody say what they want to say, but you just have to know yourself, and you also need to also examine yourself. You sit down and those things that they say about you, you try to analyze those things. Or better see, if you have friends that tell you the truth, ask the person. And you just call the person. Hi, please, I want to ask you some honest question. Just tell me, am I this, am I that? I have a friend that he will tell me the way it is. BC, what you did is wrong. I don't care how you feel about it, but what you did is wrong. And you just tell me. At some point, I will get angry and like, but then I appreciate people that tell me the truth about me because I want to grow. I want to grow. So yeah, so it's just like that. So please tell your friends the truth. And I also, what's the point of having friends that they cannot tell you the truth? Doesn't make sense to me. If they cannot tell you the truth, why are you friends? Tell your friend what you did is wrong. Don't do it again. And if you don't want us as friends, and maybe the person is angry, blah, 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 then you can go. That's why it is good for you to audit your friends regularly. As you're auditing your firm, audit your network. Growth, very important. So yeah, I think I'm taking too much time. I don't know. I just feel like you have to be intentional about your network. So yeah, so the next thing we have here is focusing only on your vanity metrics. You need to prioritize your meaningful metrics over surface level numbers. You need to prioritize your metrics, the meaningful metrics than just surface level metrics. Very important. And I've explained those types of metrics that you really need to know. People that the numbers of users daily, the numbers of users monthly, and the likes. You need to know everything. The numbers of people that you're churn, yeah, the numbers of people that they just sign up, they didn't complete the transactions, where they get stuck. If you notice that a particular application, when you check your analysis right, and you notice that this on the same spot, like so many of your customers that are stopping at that particular point, they get to that level, they stop. You should be able to know that something's wrong. It's 8 o'clock already, so we just have to like go on a short break. So we'll be back by 8:05. So see you in 5 minutes, guys. Yeah. All right, welcome back, everyone. I hope you were able to take your attendance. Yeah. So let's continue from where we stop. So I've explained ignoring negative feedback, and those I'm telling you reasons why you might the product might your post launch might fail. The pitfalls for post launch. So yeah. So we've explained ignoring, and the next one is focusing only on vanity metrics. Then the next one is overreacting to your outliers. That is, then you make decisions that is based on pattern, not anomalies. So that's another problem that can also affect your products. Overreacting. So another one is lack of iteration. Product must evolve based on new insights and user needs. And that is why they advise that um, product managers should adopt agile approach. It's not just product manager. Every growing organization should adopt they should adopt agile approach, agile methodology. That's the best way you can grow. Because if you do not iterate, before you know it, another person will just overtake you sharp sharp, no time. So have an innovative mindset. Innovate. Don't sleep because you launch your product. You're relaxing. Mm-mm. Make research. Ask from your customers. What would you like to see? Would you like to see better? What better things would you like to see on our products? When they tell you what they want, you check if it is usable, if it is something that is visible. Do you get? You do all of those. You validate it, then you work on it. Be curious. Be curious enough to always want to grow. Don't what you did yesterday, the following day you'll be surprised that another person has done something that is even much more seamless because customers they are looking for something that is chill, something that is very easy. In fact, they don't even want to do anything basically. They want soft life. So and they are ready to pay any amount to have soft life. So it is your responsibility to do what? To meet up with their soft life demand as long as they are ready to exchange it for what? For money. It's as simple as that. So let's avoid this pitfall to ensure that our products stay aligned with both our users' expectations as well as our business goals. So that your product will not get to decline phase. So yeah, that's it about that. So what are the tools and resources? I think I mentioned some of the tools that there are a lot of tools, a variety of tools that are available for you that can support your post-launch evaluation and your refinement. We have your Google Analytics, we have your mixed panels, we have your heap amplitude. I mentioned that. So, in terms of you getting user feedback, we have Typeform. We also have Survey Monkey. You can just search online. We have Survey Form. We have Oja. You can also use Google Form, right, to get feedback from your users. Do you understand? So these are part of ways that you can get feedback. And when you're writing your feedback, when you are sending out your Google form, don't go and write story. Some people can write story like there are some Google form that I was just like I was like, you think I don't have like I have all the luxury of time to be filling this one. You're wasting your time. So you be very just like make everything very simple. Do you understand? As simple as possible for them to be able to understand it. So don't write story. There's no time. Go straight to the point. No time. So that's about the when you're using Google, you can use Google Form. I believe everybody can. I don't think there's anybody on this call that don't knows how to use Google Form. Everybody can. So that's it about that. So we have the project management tools as well. So we have Jira, we have Trello, we have Asana. I'm sure before the end of this class, I think you should be familiar with one of these tools. Yeah, I think for I agree that is Likert. So if you use that, Likert, is a way of If you can use that to ask questions from your users instead of you writing story, because even for you to be able to analyze it, it is not, it's not jokes at all. So that's where you have your yeah, your what's it called, your yes, no, agree, and no. You use your Likert skill. You can use Likert skill for I mean, Likert skill is like a survey tools that is used to measure people's attitude, opinions, or perceptions about a specific topic or idea. So instead of you to be writing story, just add. If you have a particular question, you can just ask them, this app, is it easy to use? Disagree, don't agree, strongly disagree, neutral, blah blah blah, and like something like that. So all of those things, when you want to ask another question about a particular thing, maybe a feature. So for you to be able to identify, for you to be able to exactly for your questionnaire, if you're filling out your questionnaire, so you just use like that skill. That one is very easy. And even if it's your Google form that you're sending, you can also use that too in your Google form when you're sending out your questions. So even with that, you can very easy for you to analyze it. Very easy. Likert is Lekert. No, sorry, Likert. Likert skill. You can also make your own personal research. So it's just the way you structure your questions when you're sending your questions out. So don't write too much story. Just go straight to the point, Likert skill. So I think what else? A/B testing. So you can use Google Optimize. You can use Optimizely and so. So I don't expect everybody should know all of these things, but then be familiar with it. At least just be familiar with it. You understand? Yeah. So communication as well. These are the tools and resources though, that you'll be needing. That when you're trying to validate to confirm the performance of your products. So these are some likely tools that can be used. So when we also talk about communication, communication is also part of it. So even in your organization, you can use Slack, you can use Notion, you can use Miro for your documentation and your collaboration. When you have already made your research and you've gotten your qualitative and your quantitative data, right? You have to document it, yes or no? Yes. So for you to document and to communicate that to your team members, so you can use either Slack, you can use Notion, you can use Miro. These are collaboration tools that everybody can have access to. So you need to learn how to use at least, if not one or two of these tools. Very, very important. So you have to use the right tools to streamline the process and to ensure accurate and actionable data is available for you to make what and inform decisions. Is very, very, very important. Like a scale is rating scale that is used to measure opinions, attitude, or behaviors. Yeah, that's fantastic. I mentioned that if you need an accountability partner, you need to be very, very, you also need to be, what's the word to use? Be intentional about all these people that they are giving some responses on the channel. Quickly send them this thing on LinkedIn, connect, make them your accountability partner. Very important. So these are people that they are curious, they have innovative mindsets, and they really want to, they're really taking their time. And we even have some people on this channel that they have already taken this course before. So some people might be on this channel because one, maybe they are trying to refresh what they already know. Why some might just they are new entirely. Why some are practicing. Probably they just some maybe because of the certificates. So we are not equals. Do you understand? So don't think that everybody that are on this channel they are on the same level. You never can tell. Someone might even be practicing already. Yeah, and they just want to say, okay, Let me just see what is happening. What's happening? Let me just, so connect. That's the word I'm trying to say. Network and connect. So the next thing, moving on to the next slide. So look at all these applications, right? You can see how they are determining success, how they're able to measure their metrics. I mean, these are the metrics that they use for them to be able to determine success. Medium, for example, for you to be able to know, for them to be able to know, right, whether they are meeting up with their, what's it called, their KPI, right, is this might have been updated, but I got this one online, so I'm not sure. I think this is what they are still using, right? So for them to be able to determine it, right, this number of the total reading time that users spent in a week or month, that's for medium. For them to be able to, this is their own key metrics for them to be able to identify whether they are growing or not. Do you understand? So for Netflix, time spent by subscribers, they are streaming content. That's their own metrics, one of their metrics, one of their key metrics. We have Airbnb, its numbers of nights booked. We have Facebook, monthly active users. Message, you said the people you are asking us to contact as accountability partner are only active here. Try to connect on the group, they are silent. Everybody is busy, honestly. Yeah, you don't have to, it's just that everybody is busy. I'm sure so many people on this what's it called, on this application right now, on YouTube right now, some of them have gone to work. They came back very tired, but because of their commitment, they just have to be in class. Some of them, they are done like this, it's either they need to eat or find something maybe to sleep. So, but then if they are not responding to you, try to send message again. And also, like I tell people that one of the laws that I feel like I also work with is, if make yourself valuable also. Honestly, make yourself valuable. Don't just be the receiver alone. You can just like, hi, and from today's class, I learned this, I learned that. How about you? What did you learn? I mean, you still have to like create. Some people are not. Some people they don't really. They are not. They take time. They process it before they start connecting with people. Sure, you understand? So when I just reach out to the person, hi, I learned this, I learned that. What did you learn? Okay, or better still, you can send a message like, do you have a free time? So people might be very busy, or you have a meeting, can we have a meeting? Something like that. Like, if you just call me on my WhatsApp, except you are very close now. If I don't have an agreement to talk to you, just call me. I'll not pick. But there are some people that if they call me if I'm sleeping, I'll pick it. Why? Because value, there's value. And when there are people are telling you they are busy, there are some people that when they call them, if they are sleeping, they'll wake up. Because there has to be exchange of value. You can't just be taking from me and I'm not getting anything from you. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. So if you are trying to connect with somebody as well, make yourself valuable. Also, don't just connect and be asking questions all the time. You to teach the person and ask and tell the person, I learned this. Also, how about you? Or the best thing is just that ask them for their time. When is your best time? When will you be available for a chat, a quick chat, something like that? And also, please, if you are not responding, you to respond. Don't be proud. If you are busy, just tell them you are busy too. Do you understand? I'm busy, but let's schedule a meeting by so time. Let's be. We are professionals now. I hope that has answered your question. Someone that mentioned that they're not responding. Please respond though. Don't look down on anybody here. Never can tell. When we meet, see then. Yeah, 3 months. That's about that. So the next one is Dropbox. For Dropbox, what to determine success is weekly and their trial accounts with three more plus active users. That's how they're able to determine their 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 success metrics. And for Snapchat, for them to determine success, they use hourly active users. So for LinkedIn, monthly active users (MAU), for Slack, numbers of messages sent, and daily active users. For HubSpot, we have numbers of weekly active teams, and then for Spotify as well, we have the time spent listening to music. That's for Spotify. That's where they determines their own metrics to determine success. We have Go Check. That's numbers of completed orders. We also have Walmart. That's order cuts per session. Like that. And there are also some other applications that you and I that we also know. Even if they are not here, you can also, speak about those products that you're familiar with. So well, yeah, so everybody has their own this thing that they use for them to be able to determine success. All right, so moving on. Are you getting value? If you are getting value, just say yes, yes, yes. If you are not getting value, just say no. Just drop no on the chat box. If you are getting value, just drop yes, yes, I'm getting value, and all on the chat box. I want to know if you are actually learning. So this is what the Google Analytics. Oh, sorry, I think I'm mistakenly. Yeah, all right, thank you. Can you see what it looks like if you are trying to analyze your users, right, and how your products have been, the engagement on your platform? So this is just the what's it called for you to be able to know the progress of your products. So there's a section on it that brings up this for you to see all the information that you need. Just that I'm able to zoom in so that you can see very clear. Let me see if I can. Can you see? I'm sure you can see. We have active users here. We have the sparse sections. We have the bounce rates. We have the requests, source rates, new users, new sections. So it's going to give you like a total breakdown. We have daily, we have weekly. You can see everything is like it's very very clear for you to see. It's going to analyze everything, every information you need for you to confirm if your products is is being used. Do you understand? So it's something that everybody can just you can just learn it on how to do it. Your Google analysis, how you're going to integrate it on your product, and it's not that hard. Something you can watch a video on YouTube, Google Analytics, how it's being used and on the products. Very simple. So yeah, that's it about that. So moving on to the next one. So in conclusion, evaluating and refining your post-launch performance is not just a one-time activity, but it's an ongoing process that ensures that your product continues to meet evolving users' needs and market demands. So for a successful product manager that combines data with empathy, that uses structured framework to make decisions and drive an iterative improvement that delivers value. So from tonight's class, our key takeaway is how we define success before launch, collecting both quantitative and qualitative data, analyzing data to discover insights, and also to avoid common traps by staying user focused. Use the right tools to scale in order for you to do what? To automate evaluations. We've come to the end of tonight's class. If you have any question, ask your questions. Ask your question. Yeah, That's it. Let's make try as much as well to take attendance. So it's very important. That's another metrics for you to to get certified at the end of this class. So attendance very important, very important. So, and if you know you don't have a LinkedIn account to sign up to deal, because we have some people that they don't have LinkedIn accounts. Just go and sign up. Oh. Go and sign up. Very important. Start telling your stories. Can use ChatGPT to get your content. If it is one thing that is your take home from tonight class, go and make content with it. Telling your story little by little. And if you make a personal research too, add it to it. I also made a research and I got to know that this, and that. What's your opinion? People will talk. And also connect with each other. Everybody. At least we have over 100 people on this call. Connect with yourself on LinkedIn. Go and engage your friend, your colleagues. Engage all of you should be engaging your chats, your comment section on LinkedIn. Don't be wicked. I must say, like to be honest, you're doing that to encourage them. Do you understand? When you engage one person, the person will also engage your channel. Like that, your likes, your followers are increasing. You are building your own. You are building your own platform too. If 100 people connect with one person, and you drop a post on your channel, and 100 people commented, and 100 people like your post, it's something, right? Even not 100, if it's 50, it's something. It encourages the person. And also, don't wait till anybody encourage you to. Encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. So just try as much as possible to do what? To encourage yourself. Don't allow anybody to, you know, if they are not ready. Just be intentional. You don't need any external factor for you to make decision. That's what you have to do it anyway. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst? Just have it at the back of your mind that what's the worst that can happen if they do not. But then please just encourage yourself. Encourage yourself. So yeah. What else do we need to talk about? Any question? I'll check the numbers of likes and the numbers, the comments that we have here. Hmm. Any question? Any question? Any question? Okay, I think somebody has dropped. Agile methodology is actually a type of. Okay, everybody has answered. Any question? Any question? Any question? I we say we don't have question like everybody is a product manager here. Okay. Oh. So I think if you don't have question, we've come to the end of tonight's class. So we see in don't worry, we see again. Oh yeah. Let me catch up later. So okay, I think I'm seeing a question. Gift said agile methodology is flexible and it is rigid. Okay, I think I'm seeing a question. Somebody said a user story. I would like to understand user persona and user story. Your user persona is a fictional more like a fictional representation, right, of your ideal users, right? That is actually based on your research and data about that particular customer. So it's actually helps you to understand. It helps you for the product team to be able to understand what the user needs. It helps them to understand the goals. It helps them to understand your user behaviors. That's user persona. So it's more like a fictional. It's like a fictional representation that contains the name of the user, the age of the user, their pain points, their goals, and probably their tech skills, something like that. So it contains the information. It's more like a fictional representation. Like there's some people you can try to use a template for user persona, but it's something that you can do, or you can even use a Google document to just to analyze it. The goal is for you to be able to understand your customers' information, the data. You want to gather the information of your users. Do you understand? So you just do it in a very fictional way. It's not really, can I call it a visual It's not really a visual representation. We just, sometimes you can put an image of a person. It's not even sometimes, you put an image of someone, like as if you are relating with the individual. You put the name, you can use feature to even do it. You put the person's picture, something like that. The name, the age, the occupation of the person, depending on the products you are trying to work on. So that you're able to know the kind of information that you need from that user. So it's literally helps you to understand what your user wants, their goals and the behavior. That is about your user's persona. I don't know if that is clear. Is that clear? So there's another question too. You said user story. The user story is like a description of a feature, a feature your from the perspective of your user. Do you understand? Your user story is more like if a kind of descriptions about a particular feature that your user wants. For example, maybe let's use a parent for example. Maybe as a parent, I want to schedule a one-on-one classes for my child so that they can learn at their own pace. Maybe they are working on an EduTech app, for example. So they'll be able to tell you why they want to see that feature, a user, the story behind the feature that you're trying to work on. So now it's going to come from of, as a user, I want this because I want to achieve this. So do you understand? So that's just what that is trying to say. When you hear the word user story, you should be able to write the user story for all your features. So after you have prioritized all your features, you write user story, you write the acceptance criteria of it. So exactly. Who has the question? I want to be sure that you understand the question. So the goal is just there's a format for user story. The format is the first one is the type of user. The next thing is the goal, and the next thing is the benefits. So for every feature, and the reason is because so that your dev team can understand it. Why that? So that when they are, you not be there when they are building, but when you already put a story behind the feature, they have an understanding because you are representing your customer. So for every product that you are working on, I'm sorry, for every feature, there's a story behind it. As a user, I want this feature. I should be able to sign up so that I can have access to that product. Do you understand? So what is the reason? So as maybe as a doctor or whatever, as a type of user, as a user or as a doctor, I want to be able to sign up so that I can have access to information. Do you understand? So that's what user story and user persona. I hope that one you understand. So you can as well also do your own personal research so that you can have like a pictorial, a pictorial view, more clarity. Because I don't even have the slide. If I have the slide, I would have probably show you what a user persona is. But you can just check online as well to get more info about it. Yes, yes, yes. So somebody said I'm a little bit confused about how our classes have been going. I thought that the classes would be a guide to build our product and get more knowledge in the process. Yes, now there will definitely be a capstone project for you now. But you can't before you start working on your cap. I believe that every single thing I believe that for your products by now you should be writing your PRD. Because when we started, I think we mentioned this at the beginning of the class that for every topic, use your product to practicalize it. So I believe that for some of us that are very proactive, you should have even be working on your PRD right now, your problem statements, your solutions, user story, user journey, user persona, acceptance criteria, market research, user research, competitive analysis, all those things that we've taught you. I expect that a proactive person by now should have your PRD process of getting it ready by now. So by the time they teach you, I don't know if it's part of the syllabus for them to teach you how to use Figma so that you'll be able to work on your, because probably you'll be able to work on your prototype of your products that you're working on. So if you are lucky enough to know how to navigate on Figma, I don't know, depending on the topics that they are yet to teach you, so at least be able to work on your low fidelity, your high fidelity prototype, and also your high fidelity. So if you can at least work on your the prototyping of your products, at least you can even add that to your portfolio by the time you are done with this bootcamp. But only a proactive person. You don't have to wait. At least you have the basic knowledge already. With the little that you've learned, you can do something about it. And thank God we have online. You can learn anything. At least you have an idea. Okay, this little idea I have. Let me dive into it further. With what you've learned, you should be able to achieve your PRD. And even all of those tools, you can watch videos on YouTube, how to navigate, how to, okay, I want to work on my wireframe or your low fidelity of this product. But before you can do that, your PRD has to be ready because you need to know the features. Your user story, you have to be able to tell your user story. Everything very easy. So you know, okay, how many screens do you need on your products? What are the information that you need? So do you understand? So don't be in a rush. But then you have to be proactive. I hope that answered your question. Yes, I've not been available, man. I don't understand squad on attendance, man. I think you have to send a mail to the management. If you have any problem with your attendance, send a mail to be addressed. Do we have any question? Is PRD the first thing to do? I'm not sure you on this call when we started, Jennifer. When we started this class. The first thing is you need to validate your idea. Now that if you have some friends that you're working together, I didn't mean you have access. You don't even like if you are working in an organization, for example, then you have your design, marketing, your dev team, everybody's available. You can have your brainstorming section. Everybody will drop their idea, you validate, and but now it's just you, right? So, and I didn't mean you guys were grouped. So it might be like a group thing that everybody will brainstorm. But since you are working on it alone, first of all, the idea you are trying to work on, is it feasible? Is it viable? Is it usable? I think I explained all of these things to us I think when I took the either the first class, I explained all of these things to you. Once you have identified that your idea is something that is usable, visible, and yeah, is visible, viable, usable, all of that. You've confirmed it, you verified it, then make your research. What problem are you trying to solve? There has to be a problem. And your problem is something that you have to also validate. Is it worth solving? Don't go and waste time and be solving something that is not relevant for the market. How do you know this? You make your research, check online, read, make inquiries, do all your own due diligence. Don't go and waste time. So, and I don't expect that your thing is going to be perfect at the moment, but then just do something. There's always a first time to everything. Just make an attempt, do something. Don't wait though. Don't wait. I'm sure there are so many people on this call that their PRD is ready. In fact, some people has even gone to Figma to go and learn how to use Figma. If you can use Figma like this, you check out those things, how Figma is being used. But you have your PRD, you know the numbers of like you've written on you have a picture of how the product wants to look like. All of those things you already have them figured out. It's not that it's very so those are a few things that I think you just have to know. So from there to your capstone project is something that you work on. But before we get to that level, be ready. So by the time they just okay, oh, your capstone is starting so this and this, you've already like you've gone far. Like you've gone far already. Why some people are still they just want to start their own business when you are already, yeah, even as we are moving, you're also moving sharp sharp, no time. I don't even want to ask question. All right, sir. No question. I think we've come to the end of tonight's class. So if you have more questions that you want me to address, you can always send message to me on it. If I don't answer you on time, send a reminder. But don't be angry if I don't answer on time. Don't get upset. But I will always attend to any questions that you ask. Once I'm online, I'm always there busy. But I might be online and might not be checking my message. Maybe I'm checking updates, but my LinkedIn, that's why I'm always on LinkedIn. So yeah, so you can just search for me on LinkedIn. And yes, so when you're uploading your informations on LinkedIn, maybe you're writing content, just tag me. I'll always drop a comment. At least I always drop a comment. I'll like your post and all. Yeah, everybody, we all start somewhere. So we also have to encourage people and yeah. So that's just it. So we've come to the end of tonight's class. So try as much as possible to enjoy your weekend, rest well, eat well, sleep well. Don't be too anxious. Embrace your little beginning. Don't have to rush. Do not compare somebody's life that's already in chapter 3 and you that are still in chapter 1. You're asking God why. No, just follow your own. Everybody's story is different. Our journey is not the same. You just started. Don't rush yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. You're on the right path and you're doing the right thing. So just don't rush. You get there. Everybody starts somewhere else. I started somewhere too, and I'm still growing too. I'm still learning. I'm still taking courses back to back. Because we have to, since we are still alive, we still have to be learning. Learning never stops. So it's just that our chapters are different. My chapter is different to your own chapter. But at the end of the day, destination, we all get there, but different time. All right, everybody. Good night. See you next time. Bye bye. Yeah.